Alright, hey everybody, One of Wisdom here. We are back. It is now early Monday morning, I guess November 5th. Actually going to unbox triple pack number 2. Reason for the delay on this one, I actually, when I pre-ordered everything from GameStop, on the morning of the release, if you will, just right after midnight, at the time I wasn't quite sure if I was going to actually pick up all the repos, Series 2, or just my favorites, what have you. Still kind of on the fence, but as we progress, I'm thinking I'll probably wind up doing it. A lot of it'll have to do with, what comes in the triple packs, for example. What GameStop.com did is instead of sending me Ignitor, Chill, and Zook, which I would have unboxed immediately, with all the other stuff, the first round of unboxings, they actually sent me triple pack number 1. Which features Pop Fizz and New Skylander, then Whirlwind and Trigger Happy reposes. Trigger Happy, I like him, but I've got so many of his figures already by way of the legendary. Had both paths. Pop Fizz, I wanted him, but I was going to pick up Light Core and already had Punch Pop Fizz from the 3DS starter pack. And while Whirlwind's a good character, she's just not one of my favorites. Planned originally to return it. As you can see, I've still got the thing. I'll probably wind up keeping it. I guess it's like a sign. You're supposed to complete the base collection or something when they misship something. But nonetheless, all that backstory aside, this is what I had actually wanted to pre-order. And this past weekend when I made the rounds, got other triple packs, I actually went ahead and picked this one up. But that said, this is actually a pretty solid triple pack in my opinion, and that's not knowing anything about Chill, just assuming at best she'd be mediocre. Ignitor and Zook are both very good characters. Obviously Ignitor would have the bigger fan base, but in my opinion Zook is very underrated. That said, we'll go ahead, we'll take a look at everything, the drill by now. But again, there's the box art on Ignitor, Chill, and Zook. Again, a lot of people last time around wondered how to pronounce them. It's actually just like bazooka, minus the beginning and the end. But as you can see, Ignitor is here in Series 2 repose form. He is compatible in both Spyro's Adventure and Giants. Same goes for Zook here. He is compatible in Spyro's Adventure and Giants. And then Chill, being a brand new Skylander, she will only work in Giants. That said, the big difference here, the Series 2 reposes are going to have Wow Pow powers. That means Ignitor and Zook, once they're upgraded, you don't even have to do it all the way, you can just buy it. But bottom line, one step past the Soul Gem, they now have a special power. For whatever reason, they did not incorporate that with any of the new characters, be they, new ones like Chill, Light Core, or Giants. So again, that's basically the draw to, pick up the Series 2, assuming you were a, Skylander Spyro's Adventure fan, already have the complete collection. Packaging is actually very nice on this one. You got Fire, Water, and Life. We'll flip it over to the back side. As mentioned just moments ago, Series 2 have the new Wow Pow powers, and then they will all, of course, level up to 15. In the box art here, the inset, there you see Chill, there you see Ignitor, and there is Zook. I'm sorry, there he is. Chill is going to come out in a Light Core later on. It's actually going to be a slightly different pose, of course, kind of like you see with the others. And supposedly she's going to be legendary. I've heard, and none of this can really be confirmed until we see it, but there, is a pretty significant number of people that claim that her Light Core version will have a legendary counterpart. Whether that's true or not, we'll deal with it later, but needless to say, if you're a person that just is trying to hold out, for Light Cores or special things like legendaries, might hold out. Otherwise, if you want Chill, does seem like she'd be a pretty cool character. She kind of reminds me of like a Stealth Elf was a, water element. Seems like she might get along well with Slam Bam. Again, Ignitor, the drill on him. Repose actually has a legendary form as well. We'll show you that later. And then Zook, of course, already covered him a little bit. Nonetheless, we'll come in now, unbox them, so you can actually get a look at what they look like. Again, I was pleasantly surprised with Gilgrunt. You know, we couldn't really see anything to indicate that he had anything done on the backside. No clue what that was. When we actually got him out of the packaging, I realized what a great job they done on his repos. Again, they did make it a little easier to get things out. Hopefully, we can pull that off. Alright, I'm just going to leave the instructions in there. This is the one time they didn't fall out on me. Here's a good look at them in the packaging. We'll go ahead and I think I'll just pull them all out, and then we'll kind of cover everybody's story. The Ignitor was really in there. Again, I want to stress, if you were unboxing a giant or a light core, to be very careful. Several people have reported, you know, breaking them, or, you know, they tested them in the store and they worked, and then they had trouble getting them out, and at home they didn't work anymore. That said, Chill seems to be quite loose, sadly. I really don't want to break her shield or sword or, you know, wings on her helmet here. Oh gosh. Okay, I guess it just takes, you know, messing the plastic around to make it happen. But just a word of caution if you go this triple pack route. Chill is really in there. I'd be careful with her, just because based on what I saw, things were pretty flexible there. Of course, I guess that's the price we pay for people stealing things, you know. But anyway, we'll get this set aside here. If anybody saw a web code there, don't worry. It will be registered by the time you see the video. So if you want to waste your time, you're more than welcome to. That said, Ignitor, I feel like we've done his backstory a million times now. Here's a look at the trading card. There's his sticker sheet. Obviously kind of mirrors what you see on the card. Below that, you'd have his name, QR code over here, web code on this side. That said, here is a good look at Ignitor. Again, right there, you can kind of see the nice battle armor he's got. Obviously, his sword's been upgraded down the Blade Master pad. Looks pretty sweet. Power or strength, 100 of 150. Defense or armor, 80 of 150. I feel like that should actually be higher with him. I know these cards don't mean anything, but still. Agility or speed, 40 of 150. And luck, 50 of 150. You know, oddly enough, that does not add up to 280. That would be 180, and then 90, that would be 270. Most of them tend to add up to 280. That's just something I kind of noticed tonight on the blog. But that said, the story on Ignitor, I'll try to keep it brief. He's a knight. A cunning witch told him this, you know, suit of armor would protect him from the breath of a dragon. He was on his way to slay a dragon. He jumped into the suit of armor, eagerly headed out to slay the dragon. You know, he was kind of, I guess, in his face about to slay the dragon. Got hit with fire. He wasn't concerned. However, when that happened, he realized that he had been tricked. The breath of the dragon basically sealed him eternally into the armor. Never wanted to get down on himself. He basically decided that he was going to make the most of it. He set out, became a Skylander, and that said, he has still continued to look for the witch to this day. But did a really good job on his repos. Again, just as reference. Here we have Series 2 Ignitor with the orange base versus Series 1 Ignitor. This was actually a really good pose in my opinion. Obviously they have one-upped it here. On the back side, as you can see, that's standard form, and then that's kind of got the shield. He was a really good pose to begin with, and then just, like I said, took it up a notch. Similarly, for those interested, his legendary counterpart, I think in the legendary unboxing I mentioned I was sad that they misshipped my triple pack, or I would have had these to compare. But nonetheless, I mean, this is obviously the same thing, just a variation in the color. The shield does pop a bit more, but again, personally, I think the silver and blue looks really good. That said, there's a good look at Ignitor for you. Next up, we'll just go ahead kind of stick to my new format here where we save the new character for the end. But here is Zook. We will take a look at his stats and sticker here. Again, the sticker matches a card, QR codes on this side, and then over here you'd have your web code for Spyro's Universe. His strength or power is 80 of 150. I'm having a hard time keeping things in the frame. Anyway, defense or armor, 85 of 150. Agility, shockingly low at 20 of 150. Makes sense with the story, though. And luck, 85 of 150. That would be 170, 250, 270. So again, a 270 total there. Cumulatively, again, not that it matters. But Zook's story, kind of interesting. He was a member of a very rare species called the, I believe it was Bamba Zookers. I kind of remembering this from last time. But they basically just stood in place until one day the man you see in front of the camera here, Zook, realized that they could walk simply by stepping out of the mud. Basically, from that point in time, he's fairly resourceful. He started carving, bamboo tubes and using thorns to shoot projectiles. Kind of goes along with some of his upgrade paths there. But he basically became a wandering hero. I guess he would just kind of go from town to town or mud hole to mud hole, find other Bambazookers in trouble, help them out. Had campfire songs written about him, grew to be a popular guy. And he enjoyed it so much he actually joined the Skylanders, assuming that he would have basically bigger battles, bigger adventures, and most importantly, more campfire songs. Obviously, when you have campfire songs, you know that you've really made it. That said, this is actually a pretty dadgum good repose as well. He's got not only the bamboo bazooka, but he's also got the missile he's holding in the other hand. On the back side, you can see he's actually kind of got the scope incorporated. That's something similar to Gilgrunt, having so much going on. I feel like that, despite the fact that you cannot see it in the packaging, when you actually get Zook out, it is a very pleasant surprise. He's also got kind of the cuff armor bracelets, if you will. Just for comparison here, Korean base here is going to be Series 1 Zook. This was actually a really good one aesthetically, too. It almost matches, as you see the missiles here. This actually reminds me of like a Nerf football or something. But anyway, real similar overall. The scope was present on this one as well. Note it has a red ring on the Series 1 that is not present on the Series 2. But I think both of his aesthetically look pretty dadgum good. You got a good story, and like I said, I feel like he is a very underrated Skylander. Not hated, not liked, and doesn't have the huge following some of the others like Ignitor or, Wham Shell, Tornado, Camo tend to have. That said, I took him down, the Series 1 here, took it down a Floral Defender because I felt like the mortar attack coupled with, kind of the defensive elements would be good. I've had great luck with him not only in story mode, but also in battle mode down that path. Obviously, the advantage here, the Series 2, in addition to the Wow Pal, we can switch upgrade paths kind of at will, once we've picked them up. That'll be very nice. Moving on, and probably what most of you, were wanting to see, we have Chill. Again, she was quite the pain to get out of there. That said, she is fairly detailed, particularly, for a first-timer. A lot of people refer to them as Newlanders. Yeah, I kind of keep it old school, call her a New Skylander. There was a huge deal. If you note, she has blue lips. Some people call them purple. To me, they're blue. Some of her figures, I believe it was mainly single packs, had red lips. That is not a variant per se. It's just kind of like a factory paint error. It would be like the Stump Smash I mentioned, the one I have from way back in the day last year. Real light green, and then the new ones are like a darker, more vibrant green on them. Just the same type of thing there. So, if you had a buddy tell you that or something, you're out stalking a red-lipped variant Chill. It really comes down to preference, but blue is the correct color for her lips. And that's what you see here. So if you've got one, cool. If it bothers you, track down the correct paint color. But as far as being something, like a silver, gold, or anything like that. It's just kind of a paint error. That said, if you've got one, it's still kind of cool. But I mean, it's not going to be a crazy deal. Granted, some people will pay money for anything. So, nonetheless, this is technically what she should look like with the blue lips. Chill has a very interesting story as well. Hers is kind of, sad compared to some of them. I know they all kind of have that element of despair, but hers is, kind of more incomplete than the others. I guess lacks a little bit more closure. She was the sworn guardian of the Ice Queen. This is basically in the Ice Kingdom. I'm sorry, the Snow Queen in the Ice Kingdom. Apologize about that. But she was the captain of the guard, and her heroics, and bravery were well known all throughout the Ice Kingdom. Just like we saw in the Empire of Ice, though, the Cyclops began pushing, I guess, south as they moved more into the north. Nonetheless, they basically were coming down, expanding their empire. Not quite sure what went down, but I assume she was busy in battle fending him off, and somehow the Cyclops army kidnapped the Snow Queen. Chill took that very personally, and she swore that she would never return to the Ice Kingdom until she had regained her honor. Essentially, I mean, she just left ashamed and embarrassed. I believe is exactly how the story scroll put it. With that in mind, she joined Skylanders, hoping obviously to regain some of her confidence, and most importantly, locate, the Snow Queen. Assuming that happens, she would return her to the Ice Kingdom and I guess kind of come back in triumphant glory. But like I said, that was kind of a sad story overall. That said, she does, like I mentioned, look pretty dadgum good. Again, there's a lot of give here in the Valkyrie-like helmet, if you will. And then you can see there, I mean, I'm just barely applying pressure, and lots of give in her, basically extended arm. And same with the shield. A lot of times people mentioned, they'd see like a zap or, wrecking ball or slam bam, somebody kind of mangled in the packaging in the store. I could easily see that happening to Chill. Just seems like, if they caught it wrong in packaging or something, it would not take much to kind of spring that off. But I realize now I forgot to go over their slogans. We actually have not done Chill stats yet. But here's the card coupled with Chill. And then coming up, you can kind of see the sticker. Again, the same thing, web code and QR code below that. But her power is 40 of 150. Defense or armor, 90 of 150. Agility, 50 of 150. And luck, 90 of 150. That would give her a grand total of 182, so 270. So technically, statistically, this pack is coming in all three characters at 270. Triple packs 3 and 4, they were all 280, interestingly enough. Again, bear in mind that really doesn't mean much since the stat cards don't pertain to the game. That said, I picked mine up at, where was this one? Again, Toys R Us. I had ordered it at GameStop.com, and like I said, they misshipped. So whenever I was able to pick up Triple Pack 3 at Toys R Us, I just went ahead and got this one. Stock on it, honestly, every time I've looked for Skylanders, I have seen this Triple Pack. There might have been a time or two at Target. They didn't have it out. They probably had some in the back. So that is good and encouraging. If you're just after the brand new Chill single, I have not had any trouble locating that either. So Triple Pack 1 and 2 seem to be very readily available at this point. I would expect it to stay that way through Black Friday. That said, retail, as with all stores, is $24.99 plus tax here in the U.S. Again, Toys R Us, GameStop, Walmart, Target, I've really not had any issues locating it. That said, what you get the 3 characters, of course. There are trading cards, the sticker sheets. Most importantly, though, it's Series 2 Ignitor, which again is a very good repose. Series 2 Zook, again, in my opinion, a somewhat overlooked / underrated Skylander. I know there's not a lot of people that come out and say they hate him, but it's one of those deals where you don't hear a lot of people, talking about how great he is either. And perhaps most importantly, Chill, the brand new Skylander. Kind of looking at her, I assumed she would have been, from Scandinavian. I've actually seen online and had people tell me she's got like a Russian voice. On their website, all you actually hear is her slogan, which reminds me, I forgot to cover that. Hers, fittingly enough, is "Stay Cool." Zook, as you know, is "Locked and Loaded," and then Ignitor, if you recall from the battle mode videos, he is "Slash and Burn." So overall, assuming Chill has some good upgrades, I've actually heard from a few people on the blog and Twitter saying that she does in fact upgrade very well. It's a fun character to play with. Even if she was menial, I mean just kind of middle of the pack, when you couple her with Ignitor and Zook, known characters to me, fully upgraded, this should be a very solid triple pack. That said, if you're in the market for all three of these, or you're a big fan of Zook or Ignitor or something, it's usually in your best interest monetarily to just go ahead and get the triple pack. You'll save a little bit of cash in the long run. But again, picked it up at Toys R Us for $24.99. I keep getting confused. I've had so much trouble, getting this one. But again, $24.99, standard retail everywhere at this point in price. But overall, like I said, I think it'll be a great triple pack. Questions, comments, you can ask here on YouTube. For a much quicker response, I would recommend the blog. Of course, the very first thing in the video description is a link that'll take you to this particular post. That way, if you have any questions that you don't see answered here or the blog post, feel free to ask there. I do get to it much quicker than YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. I'm also on Google+. As always, thanks for watching. And in the words of Chill, stay cool.